My two Satoshis that I'm going to give you in this food for thought episode is that there is plenty of time, and I'm going to show it to you in 3 charts. The implications of these 3 charts you can interpret in a couple of ways. A, you have plenty of freaking time to accumulate and just sit back and do almost nothing from an investor standpoint. Or number 2, if you feel like you might be getting caught up in which altcoin's going to 10x next and all this stuff, or I'm, bullish on this. No, there's a lot of time before the sentiment of bullishness in crypto needs to happen. I'm going to break it down to 3 charts. Whichever way that is more appropriate for you to take it, go ahead and take the reins and rock and roll. Let's go get this crypto. Bull runs happen under 2 conditions historically. The way I see it. The first condition is that before the halvening. So here's a halvening, and the next halvening is out here in May 2024. The bull run under one condition starts between 200 to 400 days before the yellow line, and I have it measured out here. Bull run of 2015 started about 250 days. Litecoin halvening stimulated this bull run. It happened a little sooner, a whole 400 days before the next halvening. And with the idea that it started way before the halvening, you had a lot more choppy crap going on, right? So the closer to the line that it happens, I would theorize that there's less chance for weird shit to happen because it's tighter to the halvening. Does that make sense? So see how this one was, let's zoom into this. It was tighter to the halvening, and there wasn't, even though there was coronavirus and all that crap, but look how nice, like this play was pretty nice. It just stayed on this origin line the whole time. Very nice play. Was it choppy on top of it? Yeah, but in general, it stayed between this origin line and this origin line pretty easy, because it was tighter to this. So really, I mean, the earlier this bull run might start, and I'm going to get to the second condition to give you an extra layer of confidence on when this is going to start. This is just a rough estimate, so you can essentially temper your emotions and have a clear expectation, or reform your current expectations for those who might be following, bullish 10x. No, it's not going to 10x. All right. Like 10x down, like 90% down, maybe. All right. Okay. That's the first thing. And I am only on one chart, but the second condition is throwing on let's do the weekly 21 and the weekly 10. Look at what magically freaking happens. Let's take off price even. This is the true one, all right? And I think there has been one fake out. I think there was almost like a kind of a fake out here, but really take a look. When red crosses above yellow and you're within that time frame. So here it technically did get a fake out, right? But if you put price back on, I mean, you had a double dip here. So this one was a weird one. But in general, when red crosses above yellow, the weekly 10 is red. When that goes above the weekly 21, that is when you can say, hey, look forward to the halvening, count back. Are we within that 200 to 400 day pocket? Yes. Did red just cross above yellow? Yes. Boom. Now I can be bullish because it might be off to the races. And whatever origin line Bitcoin is above at that time, it's not going to go back below it. And that's the way I would suggest that is a very healthy way to be looking at crypto right now. All right. So let's take price off. Boom. 260 days before, red crossed above yellow. Weekly squeeze play to the upside. All right. I think I might have coined that word squeeze play, but whatever. I don't know if I made it up. I did just make it up. Maybe other people use it, but whatever. So you essentially squeeze. So see how price here got stuck or got on top of the red, but below the yellow, and yellow was coming down, squeezing price. It had to pick a direction, but it was within that 200 to 400 day pocket. And this came up and that started the bull run. Okay. Now let's go to current price. So somewhere between these two lines here, this line is roughly March 2023. This is October 2023. When you see red go above yellow in this zone, okay, then start interacting with tweets about what's the next 10x altcoin. Yeah, that's freaking appropriate over here, right? But right now, behind me, it's like red is below yellow. You're not in the pocket. Like, it's literally a waste of breath. And it's not just a waste of breath. It's creating false expectations that could greatly, and negatively affect you. All right, now let's go to the total 2 chart, on which I have, I believe, the same ideas here. Okay, and this is actually suggesting my guess is going to be wrong, and I was guessing too damn early. Look at this. I was thinking things would be it could be. It could start recovering. So I have this chart really bottoming out around October. All right, September, October of this year, and then recovering, and then sort of, yeah. So this is suggesting starting the bull run 400 days earlier. But this pocket, this 200 to 400 day pocket. And I haven't gotten to the third chart yet, so you better stay tuned. It's kind of suggesting this bull run is going to start closer to this one. And the third chart is, I'm telling you, it's strongly suggesting it. It's not going to be the 400-day one. And it's healthier when it starts later anyway, because you're going to have less fake out. But it's, so the third chart is suggesting, my guess is going to be like this triangle needs to be like this. Something like this. And you start recovering around that point at the end of this triangle. And this, so I'm not going to move my guess here, right? But I'm with the NASDAQ and traditional markets. I think this was a little early, and this blue price path that I have on, see where I squiggled back from way back here was my guess, right? And it's fairly on track right now. All right. Let me take off these EMAs. That doesn't really count for this. So what this is suggesting is that altcoin market, if this is the golden pocket or the pocket over here, all right, this is suggesting that I might need to add an origin line below. Let me try to get the distance about right, somewhere like that. About like there. And altcoins might have a lot more to go, because they're not going to start, really doing anything impressive until this point, which means they're likely going to be down and sideways. So this line here is more likely to be hit, as opposed to bottoming out on this line here. I should have thrown on the, so this is the Bitcoin halvening. This is 200 days before the halvening. This line here is 400 days before the halvening. Are you seeing this? So it looks like I'm probably like a couple hundred days off here. With this total 2 chart is, I should have said this at the beginning. This is the market cap of all coins minus Bitcoin. All right. So in terms of altcoins, and I'm going to connect this to the third chart. You got way more time on altcoins. Okay. This could get real deep over here. All right. So, all right. Now let's look at the one cheat code for a Bitcoin and crypto bottom. I have the theory. Okay, let's mark off May 2024, roughly here. Next Bitcoin halvening, and let's just do 200 days before, or let's do 250. Let's do 200 and 400. Roughly. All right. So in this zone between so this is the Bitcoin halvening roughly. This is 200 days before, 400 days before. Okay. This is NASDAQ futures. Bitcoin and crypto, this is your cheat code. Okay. Another thing to temper your emotions. This line, this equator line here, so this is like the tropics line, how the earth spins and all that stuff, okay? This is the equator. The equator's always hit every single time without fail. So given that Bitcoin is 100%, almost 100% connected down to the 5-minute candle to this chart, and this line has to be hit, minimum, it's more likely line B is going to be hit. If you just take a rough angle of how long it's going to take for line B to be hit, let's do a rotated rectangle and go like this to get just the average, how fast it goes down. Guess what? It hits line B in this rough slope around that time. And that matches being in the golden pocket. But that's all of crypto, and Bitcoin still going down. It's got so it's going to have to take probably every bit of 200 days it's not just up to the moon from there. It's going to take likely every bit of 200 days with Bitcoin going down until this point to get the cross of the red and yellow. It's going to take a while. And that's why this chart is suggesting it's going to be the 200-day marker, closer to the 200-day marker when the bull run is going to kick off. Because you got to have that recovery phase or that boring phase where just like I can actually hear crickets outside my window, like literally crickets. And you're going to have literally crickets from roughly, this point to this point where absolutely nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden it's just going to go blah, and you're going to see price somewhere around here, Bitcoin get above and hang out above its red line or the weekly 10, and then it's going to chill a few weeks there, just crickets, and then it's the yellow line's going to be approaching the red line, and then it's going to fly up. And it's going to take a while. It's not going to be V-shape. It's going to be slow. It's going to be more of a U-shape. And even this chart is aligning with that. It's almost perfect. You have time. You have time to be bored. You have time to sit and do absolutely nothing. Refresh your eyes from crypto. Go on vacation. Stop staring at charts. Come back in a month. Yes, that could hurt my YouTube adventure with views in it, but it doesn't matter. If you get worn out of crypto before this point, you're not going to come back. So I would prefer to let you know, take it easy. Stop looking at charts all the time for the meantime. We have hundreds and hundreds of days left, right? Now, if you like to accumulate in the meantime, sure, keep playing some charts. But if you're more from an investor standpoint, come back in a couple hundred days. Just tether up, and we'll see you on this channel in the 100 or the 200 days when we get closer to this area when Nasdaq hits its line A or line B. The only way that Bitcoin is going to start rocking and rolling when the equator line is hit is if Bitcoin can, this is kind of my theory though, if Bitcoin is going to have a start the bull run 400 days before, so this is the halvening, 200 days before, 400 days before. The way that Bitcoin could start about 400 or a little bit more, a little sooner, is if Bitcoin separates from the stock market once the stock market hits the equator, and Bitcoin says, I'm already at $9,600 or $14,000. Investors, big money investors come in, and Bitcoin starts being the safe play, and Bitcoin separates as this keeps going to line B. That is how Bitcoin could start its bull run 400 days before. It is possible. If Bitcoin's going to separate from Nasdaq, it's going to be around this line. I can't, it's never happened before, right? But that's just my guess, and that would be the anatomy of the 400-day pocket. But regardless, you'll be able to see it in the chart with red crossing above yellow. It's seriously that simple. Like this video right here, if you missed my last food for thought video in form of crypto portfolio management and thoughts, and click this video right here if you want to know why you need to get ready for a mega dump in crypto that's going to come late August to early September very soon. We'll see you next time.